Today's lesson, kids, it's about sex. You need to know about sex. I know it's a heavy subject, and a delightful one. Today we're going to learn about it. So, what are we looking at here? We are looking at a Phoenix dactylifera. This is the date palm from which dates are made, the kind you eat. So, and here's some more date palms over here. But you're going to notice they look different. I'm going to tell you why. And it all relates to sex. So, the next time that you're out on a date, no, wait, scratch that. The next time you're eating a date, I want you to think about everything I'm telling you here and think about sex. Because without sex, you wouldn't be eating that date. For that matter, you might not ever be on a date if it wasn't for the same. So these are also Phoenix dactylifera true date palms. When I say true date palm, the date palm family is huge. Has all kinds of different species in it. This is just one of them. This is dactylifera, and we just call them dacs. But the thing is about all Phoenix, some genuses are different, but all Phoenix, there are male trees and there are female trees. Told you I was going to talk about sex. And when you're eating that date, when you're on that date, maybe you should bring some dates onto a date, and you can have this conversation with your date while you're eating the dates. Maybe that you're actually hand feeding her or him or whatever. So what you're going to tell them is what I'm telling you. And that is that the female date palms, they're the ones right here. Just like a real female woman. I know that's hard to define these days, but I certainly can. A female date palm, it's either one or the other. Sorry, folks. There is no ambiguity when it comes to these trees. A female date palm is going to be more slender, just like a beautiful female, typically in our species of humanoids, than a male. Males are more fat and chunky, thicker, a little bit more robust looking, but probably not as delicately beautiful as the females. So these females are really, and when we stand them up, I'll show you the difference. But females are really elegant and pretty and beautiful. And the males are just big and impressive. Here's a male over here. And a different kind of trim job here. Well, let's keep talking about the sex. Come on. All right, so these things were born in the Middle East, and they were originated there. And thousands of years ago, people decided that, there's some really good varieties of these trees. When they're younger, they actually will make babies coming off the bottom. They'll be genetically the same exact plant. So when you have the same genetic plant on the bottom, you want to preserve this really good variety that makes big, really good dates, bigger than the rest. What do? You cut off all the suckers off the bottom and plant them. That's how they replicate these plants. These are clones, like 2,000 years old, the same plant. It's the same plant because it hasn't germinated from a seed, except like 1,000 years ago. People have just been splitting them off, the same plant. So it's really the same plant. So it's, it could be older than the redwoods or the bristlecone pine possibly. But we want to go too far out of the topic of sex. So let's keep talking about the sex. So females, right? Males do the same thing. They have babies in the bottom. And the thing is you might know this already, but guess what you need to make babies? You need a female because she's got to have the baby, but you also need a male to make the magic happen. And that's true with these trees. So how does the magic happen? Well, Mr. Date over here, he just throws out a bunch of pollen, a bunch of dust, comes right out of the top of the tree with these flowers he gets. Okay? And on a windy day, in fact, you can see them, look. There they are. There are the flowers right in there. On a windy day, he gets excited. He's like, yeah, oh, it's windy. So he spreads his pollen that way. And hopefully he's living right next door to some really cute females. And they're like, oh, yay, you're so guapo. You're so pretty. You're so handsome. I want to collect pollen from you. And so they do. And the next thing you know, flowers come out from the females. And they receive the pollen from the male. And then they make fruit, and they make a viable seed. That seed is not going to be exactly the same like the mom, and it's not going to be the same as the dad, but it's going to be something similar. I've got 4 kids. They look a little bit like my wife. They look a little bit like me. They act a little bit like me. They act a little bit like her. It's kind of variable. Same thing with these trees. So, yeah, and then eventually it'll make fruit and grow. So, but what to know about ornamentally, like sex can be ornamental too. And here we have a good example of that, because we have a male tree and female side by side. Male trees are bigger, more impressive. There's a problem out there with canary palms. They get a disease called fusarium, and it's a fungal disease that can get into the vascular system of the plant. That's the water delivery system, usually through an infected chainsaw that cut an infected tree, and it'll eventually kill the tree. Not only will it kill the tree, it'll go all the way down into the root system, because it translocates everywhere. Water goes in the plant in all directions, and then it'll infect the ground. So you try to dig the thing out and put another one in, it'll pick it up because the spores are now in the ground. So if you have big canary palms, what do? And they die. Well, you replace them with this one. The date palm is not nearly as green. It's more silvery than the canary palm, but we can make a big, giant pineapple cut just like a canary palm. A lot of people watching this video are thinking, oh, that's a canary palm. It's not. It's a big, robust male date. And it's the closest thing you can get to look like a Phoenix canariensis, Canary Island date palm. And then here's its counterpart, the female. Now, as you can see, the typical cut for a female is you cut every one of these fronds right here that connects the foliage to the trunk. Cut them in a diamond shape, just like that. This is a typical, you can cut them just like the other trees cut smooth, but this is a really beautiful pattern because it's just so three-dimensional. When you light it from underneath, I'll link some videos, hopefully, to this video. It's incredible looking at the shadow pattern on this tree. So that's called the diamond cut. You can do that on the male or the female. It's almost always done on the female. And then you've got the canary palm cut, which is a smooth chainsaw cut all the way up with a big smooth pineapple, just like this one here. And so, yeah, and then my crane is pretty much just barely big enough to deal with these things. My client already put 2 of them in his backyard. We'll go look at those and see how they're doing. Did that like a year ago. Now he's doing the front yard. And what's funny is he actually has a apartment complex where he's got these 2 tall related Phoenix trees, Phoenix reclinata, single trunkers, that are too skinny. He doesn't want them anymore. So I might move them to my ranch. It'll be a whole separate video. But yeah, so there's the female date palm. There's a male date palm. Sadly, so another thing to think about, male date palms, it's kind of like being a male bull in a whole corral of cows, the females. You don't need many bulls to keep the population up, is the best way to say it. You really only need 1. You could have 100 cows and, that bull could make 100 babies. It'd be a busy bull for sure, but he could do it. And that's, I guess, the fantasy of many a bull, is to be that bull. But same thing here in the date groves. You only have you'll typically have 1 male tree for every 100 female trees. Now, I feel really badly for all of the male date palms that don't get to play that role, because I would be jealous if I were not the main bull date palm. But I'm sure the females, I don't know, I don't know if they mind sharing just 1 date palm. What do you think about that? Are you okay with that? No comment. What about you? Are you okay with sharing just one bull with all your sister friends? It seems they don't care. Who am I to judge? Anyway, so you need something like this. Or if you're out on a date, eating dates with your date, and you're thinking, I might want to get one of those, this is where you go right here. Golden Gate Palms, right there. 925-325 Palm, www.goldengatepalms.com. Let's get it going on. There they are. Here's Scott's new place. It's looking sharp. And I had to take my truck up a ramp over there, which is not there anymore. Turn around and go this way. Get up here and plant these trees. That was pretty unbelievable. Anyway, look at the parties that are going to happen here. He better invite me to these parties. That's all I can say. There's the 2 male trees I put up there. Get an idea of what they look like. They need to get trimmed up a little bit. They've been there for a year, so they have a little bit of shock. But they're going to start growing like really aggressively. See the new head coming out. New head is always a little bit tighter. Obviously perfect, tighter and smaller than the original head. And that's what's happening to these 2 trees. And eventually, the reason the bottom part doesn't look so good is because that was the part that went down the road and got all banged up and everything. But you see the top is a little smaller. So, but they're looking good. Another about 2 years it takes these trees to look like they've never been moved. All right, let's do this. So we're gonna put the new one, the final 3rd one right here. Right here. That's the plan.
Once you turn 55, you can't do this anymore?
No, when you turn 55, you can do it.
Oh, okay. It's like, then I shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah,
For another
exactly.
6 months.
Gotta stand out really far to see this tree. Look at that. Golden Gate Palms comes through again. There is the male. That's a male. Right there. We're gonna drop this thing in right now. That's about as big of a tree as this truck can handle. And it weighs about 10,000 pounds if you're curious. I can't even get that far enough. But you get the idea. Let's do it. What'd you say right before you said that?
I think I said the F word.
But after you said the F word, it was another word.
Oh,
It
it
looks-
looks perfect.
Effing great.
It looks effing great.
That's it right there.
Perfect. Gary, you nailed it.
You like going to GOTS? I love GOTS. Up in Napa.
We could use a GOTS about right now. But you nailed
There you
it.
go.
You nailed it again.
We nailed it. Barely.
It's, it looks perfect.
Was I barely able to do it?
No, you had this one.
You mean that the part the crane wouldn't pick it up because it was
yeah.
too heavy and I had to take the dirt off?
I think you could have did this one with one arm tied behind your
Okay.
back. Now you should show them the other 2 that you put in. That you needed both arms for, but you did that gracefully as well.
I'll show them just a glimpse. There. That one right there. And another one just like it. Yeah. There it is. Another job almost done. And Patrick's got these apartments we're going to go to. But yeah, there you go. That is a male date palm. True date palm. Phoenix dactylifera with a canary cut. And it does not get Fusarium. Strangely, you think it would. It's so closely related to the canary palm, but it doesn't. So keep that in mind. And while these guys shovel some soil and some sand, why don't we just take a little garden tour into Patrick's backyard? And yes, he did say he's going to invite me to the party that he's going to have here. He said I didn't need to ask. He was going to invite me anyway, but I wanted to make sure. Oh, they have a cute dog. Beautiful house. Got all the furniture ready to go. The only thing I'm concerned about is this pool. I told him, pool's not open, I'm not coming. So he said, yeah, pool will be open, don't worry. Look at this, some kind of barbecue set up over there. Look at this, I wonder what he keeps in here. Or who he keeps in here. It's like a dungeon. What else? Cool, beautiful steps. There's our palms that we put in last year. And I sold him some avocado trees. Let's go take a look. He's got himself a greenhouse and another living area up top. And I'm gonna have to jump all over them because those are not real at all. Those are. That's why they don't look as good. Citrus. He's got a lime hedge. Or is that a lemon? Might be a minor lemon hedge. Those are lemons. These are oranges. That looks like a mandarin. This appears to be a lime. Here. And vegetable gardens. Hopefully he didn't, he got his gopher wire in. So he's got a really nice cucumber. Oh, he's got two. One and two cucumbers. Peppers. Basil. Tomatoes. And peppers actually on the plant right now. This guy's greenhouse, look at this. He's living large. Can't really play football here, but you could probably like do some lawn bowling or something. It's a beautiful multi-tiered effect going up the hillside. This is what it's like up here. It's a wonderful shade pattern of the palms I put in. They're looking good. Oh, it's gnarly coming up here. I'll link the video. There's the hot tub. Dive right out of the hot tub in the pool. I'd probably be in the pool right now if it was open. I don't know where the switch is, and he hasn't told me. Probably doesn't want me to know because he knows I'll go in it. But yeah, there was a ramp right over here. I had to come up this thing with my truck. I had to get around that corner there with these huge trees, drive across here, drive up here, drive over there, plant them. It was quite a day. And I have video evidence to prove it. Here are the avocados that he planted, but I don't understand. He's got them growing in shade. We need to have a talk. This doesn't need to be. I did not approve this. Feels good in here. Looks like he's got one there. But yeah, avocados need full sun, people. If you were like in Phoenix, this would be a great idea. Maybe I should do a video on this for Phoenix. Let's do that. We're super, super hot climates. I think that's just a straight up Hass avocado there. And not sure which one. This looks like a Fuerte. That's a Fuerte. I can tell by the leaf. Anyway, let's make another video on how you can sun protect your avocados. Why not? Move that wall. Oh, there it is. This beautiful tree. Big boy tree. Look at this beautiful house. Beautiful house. Beautiful tree. It's kind of sad it's on the garage side. I guess if you had some really nice cars, it would serve it justice. I think we got it pretty straight. What do you guys think? There it is. And we were off to go plant some females. I'm sorry, buddy. Came up with your two girls. You probably were pretty excited to travel with them so far, thinking you were going to have a wonderful life with them. I know it's not like the date orchard where you're the one of 100, but at least you had two. But now you got two homies to hang out with. They're not ladies, but they look cool. All right, next job. What was the question?
Does a male medjool date palm actually produce dates?
Do you know about the birds and the bees?
I'm just learning.
This is what the video's all about.
I'm a late bloomer.
Yeah, this is why I make videos like this. So people like you can know what you're talking about next time you have a cocktail party.
I love it.
Here you go. The male produces pollen only, and the female makes the fruit.
Got it.
But it takes two to make a thing go right, as they say. And without one or the other, no dates.
Got it.
That's the short story, because I don't want to tell the long story when I'm up in a tree. All right, you have to.
Grab that little oak.
I'll do that. Where is it?
Right to your
I
right.
see it right there. All right, there's the palms that Patrick wants to get rid of. I'm going to take those, plant them at my ranch. It's going to be awesome. Here are the palms Patrick wanted to execute. He was going to kill them. I actually made a video here once, not knowing he owned this place, saying these palms are rad. They got the cool little coconut trunk, little wander to them, super tall. Been here forever. They're Phoenix Reclinatus from Africa. And usually they sprout multiple trunks. The one over there gave it up long ago. This one is still doing it. See the babies coming up? Somebody's been trimming them off. You get one stalk. I already have one of these that I rescued that no one else wanted at my ranch. I'm gonna rescue these. There's Plant these dates here instead. Female dates. Can't tell if these are male or female. Hard to say from here. But anyway, here we go. So Patrick, one quick bit of comment. Why did you want to execute these poor plants?
Well, I really don't want to execute them. I'm hoping that you're gonna find a nice.
No
home for
one's
them.
gonna take these. They're way too tall.
So if you look at this asset,
I have an adoption center up in the Central Valley.
That's what we need. We need to find a rescue for them. But
Right.
so this is a great property. It goes really far back, deep, about 600 feet. The challenge is there's only 60 feet of frontage here, and this is like an A+ location with the prune yard right here, Whole Foods across the street. But so we have a short visibility window, and we rebranded this property calling it the Palms.
I
of
saw
Prune
that.
Yard.
I made a video on this you don't even know about.
And if you go back to the other buildings, there's some really great palms in the courtyards and whatnot.
I actually know the guy who planted the original ones. I'll tell you about that
that's
later.
awesome.
Mike
That's awesome.
Benton's dad.
So we're trying to get some curb appeal with these new beauties here.
Are
Because
you saying those are ugly?
they're a little on the skinny side for me. I like to eat.
You promise to come to my ranch and see them if I save them.
Yeah, 100%.
Put 'em in- okay,
I'm coming to your
all right.
ranch no matter what.
Oh yeah, we'll do that anyway. The only way you can do it is to make you sit. Sorry, that's the only way I could do it. I just can't go back far enough. Maybe not even here. What do you think? It's gonna go to my ranch. It's gonna look awesome. Can't wait. There it is. Before,
Know how everything's kind of tied.
after. I mean,
Thinking is
you got a pretty nice palm before. I mean, who's gonna argue about that? That's like South Seas style, coconut style. It's a little more formal Palm Springs style with the date palm, but to each their own. I will certainly plant that at my ranch. Can't wait. It was a wiggle, a jiggle, and a struggle. But lo and behold, we got it out. Boom, boom, boom. I'm telling you, these are gonna look so good at my ranch. So good. They're totally one of a kind too. These trees are at least 50 years old. Okay, so it's gonna get dark on us, folks. You won't see the finished shot, but just know that that is a female Phoenix dactylifera palm, the true date palm, the one you eat. It's a girl. It's not a boy. It's not ambiguous. It knows what it is. It celebrates it. It loves it. It makes dates. It feeds us, and it's beautiful. Super beautiful. And if you want one, come on down Golden Gate Palms. And if you want to learn more about sex, come on down Golden Gate Palms. And I can tell you more. There's a lot more to know with these trees. So, yeah, and it turns out this one here is related. It's a male. Sometimes they hybridize. That's kind of kinky, but it sure does make for some really interesting palms. And that's the end of the story.